Hi there, bit of an apologetic one for you this time. The batteries died on my camera when I was filming tonight's RowAlong, and rather than completely scrapping it and make you folks wait a few more days before another row comes online, I've kind of put something together in the edit suite that still makes it work. To be honest, in this session, if you're working hard enough, you really shouldn't notice the joins. You should really be just thinking more about your row. So please enjoy it. Apologies for the lack of professionalism in here, but your rowing is more important than my professionality. I can't even speak. All right, enjoy the row.
Hi there, thank you very much for joining me for today's RowAlong workout. What we're going to do today is we're going to work a little bit on speed and specifically how increasing your stroke rate is a really easy way to just get that little bit more speed out. So we're going to do a 4-minute warm-up and then we're going to get into doing a 4, 3, 2, 1 times 3 session. So what that means is we're going to row 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, then we're going to rest for 3 minutes and we're going to do that 3 times. Now, importantly, you're going to start the 4 minutes at 24 strokes a minute and either 2k plus 12 pace if you have a training pace, or really just the pace that happens when you row at 24 strokes a minute, okay? Because then at 3 minutes, we're going to go up to 26 strokes a minute. Then at 2 minutes, we'll go up to 28, and then at 1 minute, we'll go up to 30 strokes a minute, and each time your pace will increase. Now, ideally, you're going to go 2k plus 12, then plus 9, then plus 5, and then roundabout plus 1. But like I say, I want you to just see how your pace increases as your stroke rate goes up. So don't worry too much if you're not really in that kind of world of training paces and things, okay? It should just increase as your stroke rate goes up, all right? So like I said, we're going to start off with a 4-minute warm-up and we have to set up our machine first. So on a concept 2, set your drag factor first to where you want it to be. If you're not on a concept 2, set the resistance to a point where you get a nice feel to the stroke, but you don't have to heave against it, okay? Next up, if you're able to, set your monitor at eye height so you don't have to look up and you don't have to look down. And finally, if you can set the height of your foot stretchers, set them to a point where you're able to come into the front of the machine with your shins in a vertical position, okay? Because you don't want to go, if you're too high, you might not be able to quite get there because you're all held back. If you're too low, you might go scooting straight past, and that causes kind of power leaks and stuff. So, sorry, I fluffed my lines there, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to do this 4-minute warm-up at around about 18 to 20 strokes a minute, and I want you just to start with the amount of kind of power it would be as though you were just standing up, okay? I just want you to put in a little bit of a push and think about that power connecting to your hands, connecting the handle to the machine, okay? I'll explain as we get into this. So here we go then, in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So I just looked up and saw a massive grey cloud, and I'm like, oh, I hope that's not going to come over. Anyway, so you push your feet into the machine, that's how you generate the power, but you have to get that power up through your body and into the handle. And so you do that by getting the timing between that foot press and your hands picking up the handle. Now, a little bit of help comes from body position. So if you have a forward tilt over your hips and arms straight, you're in a much better place for that power to transfer and that timing to happen. So think about that you want your feet to push as your hands connect. Now, a minute in, you can just increase the power a little bit, but remember, I want you to row this at a pace where it's a warm-up, not I'm already going eye-bleedingly fast. So if you have a 2k training pace, that means around about 2k plus 20. An effort means around about 5 out of 10 effort level. But really it's just enough to get your breathing rate up, heart rate up, and you'll be nice and warm, ready for today's session. Because like I say, we're starting 24 strokes a minute at 2k plus 12, which is round about 7 out of 10. So you're going to be starting fast. One more stroke, put one foot on the ground, continue rowing. So one foot on the ground here just means you can work on your flexibility as you come in to the front of the machine. So you're not held back by two legs. So you can think about that forwards tilt towards the front. One more here, swap legs. And like I said, I don't want you to get too hung up on a concept of a training pace. I just want you to row these 24 strokes a minute when we start the main session at whatever the natural pace is that you row them at. So don't go soft, but don't go full out either. Okay, both feet in, legs straight, row with your back and arms. So you just swing over your hips and then pull in your arms. Then out with your arms, swing back over your hips again. This kind of pendulum swinging motion is vital to adding power and protecting your back. One more here, and then we're going to roll to the front of the machine, arms straight in that forward tilt, and just push out from the front. Push, push. Okay, and try and hold those straight arms in the forward tilt. Our machine's making that noise again. We have to fix that, because that'll get rather annoying through the main section. That click, click. Two more here. One more. Ooh, there we go, nicely warmed up. So have a quick drink, maybe do some light rowing to continue if you want. I'll quickly stop that noise and we'll get into today's main session. Okay, one aborted attempt to start on this. Let's see if it works this time, okay? So what we're doing today is 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minute, 1 minute with no rest in between them. You only get your 3 minute rest after the 1 minute, okay? Now we start these at 24 strokes a minute, round about 2K plus 12 if you have a 2K training pace. But if you don't, it's fine. Just the natural pace that comes to you when you row at 24 strokes a minute should be round about right. And then as we go shorter in time, so down to the 3 minutes, we go up by 2 strokes a minute. And then we go up another 2 as we go down to 2 minutes, and then up another 2 as we go down to 1. Okay, and each time you go up stroke rate pace, you should find you're going a couple of seconds faster, if not a little bit more. All right, and as always, I would talk you through all of this. I'll keep you on track for when you're doing your stroke rate changes and all that kind of jazz. All right, so let's see if my machine can shut up. We can get into this row this time. 4 minutes, 24 strokes a minute at whatever pace you're going to hit to make this happen. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Well, that's better already. There we go. Beautiful, well, I'd say silence, but obviously it's not because it's the sound of a rowing machine. So, 24 strokes a minute is, along with 20 strokes a minute, one of my happiest stroke rates. Probably because I can just look at the monitor and I can do the maths to count down in strokes. So at 24, it's just 1 stroke every 2.5 seconds. So if you ever struggle holding a rhythm, then rowing at 24 and then rowing at 20, which is 1 stroke every 3 seconds, can be an interesting way to hack this sense of rhythm into your body, because you can look at the timer and make sure you take a stroke something on every 5 and 0 on the monitor, then maybe get the timing right for 7.5 and 2.5. But just using the timer as almost a metronome can be enough to help you with your rhythm. But remember, when it comes to your stroke, it's not just about rhythm, it's about ratio too. And ideally, certainly down at 24, that ratio is that your drive is twice as fast as your recovery. That makes sense anyway, doesn't it? You want to make sure that your recovery is the longest part of your stroke so that you can recover. But what it means is you have a powerful drive out from the front, and then you take your time to recover. And as we get to 26 strokes a minute in just over 30 seconds time, that ratio should still be relatively similar for faster drive than the recovery. So just push harder with your legs and that drive should be slightly faster. 2 more. 1 more. Here we go. So when you push harder with the legs, that extra power should have made your drive phase quicker. And if you are rowing with a good rhythm ratio, if your drive speed increases, so does your recovery. However, your drive is still faster than your recovery. But hopefully, the other result of pushing a little harder is that your speed has also gone up. And it's like it works in tandem, because you are pushing harder, you are taking more strokes per minute. So obviously 26 strokes a minute versus 24, you should get an increase, but that extra oomph from your legs plays a part because of the stroke rate and just extra power going into the handle. So, coming up for our next change, up to 28. Let's see what your natural increase is. 2 more. 1 more. Here we go. So, a bit harder of a push. So, I went from 155 to 152, and that was just thinking about increasing my stroke rate. I'm not overpowering the stroke. You may find the next increase, if you want to get it closer to your 2K pace. Not only will you need to push harder to get rate up, you'll have to push a little harder still to add a few more seconds of pace to your stroke. Whew. Okay, almost at the last one. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 30. So, one stroke every 2 seconds. Try and keep that push even. I'm not quite hitting 2K pace, but this is one of those times where I need to hold off to be able to speak to you. 3 more. 1, 2. 3 minutes recovery. Take your time to recover here. It's definitely a tough old session. Whew. Make sure to drink. This kind of session, you have to stay hydrated. Hydration will be your enemy. In a way, sometimes more than food. So I think I usually, during the week, it's a Sunday today, but during the week I'll train at the end of a 16-hour fast. So I tend to stop eating around about 10 o'clock at night. It's like the very last thing I'll have. Usually a protein shake. And then 1 o'clock-ish is when I'll then go out and I'll do a row for round about an hour. And then 2 o'clock is when I finally have something to eat. So that's like 16 hours I've gone. And so I've not eaten for all that time. Yet energy isn't an issue at all for having gone that long. Even come the Friday when, because after like a weekend, obviously I've been because over weekends I don't do this, I eat normally, so come a Monday I've still got food in my stomach from the night before and things. But by the time I get to Friday, I'm running on an empty tank by the time I come out to do my row, but energy is never an issue. However, if I haven't been drinking, if I haven't taken in enough fluids, especially water, then regardless of how much food energy I've got in my body, I'll just drop. And that's where cyclists call it like a bonk, where your energy just goes and goes on you. And so that's what you want to try and avoid, and hydration is a huge part of that. That's just water I drink. Don't really do the whole added electrolytes or sports drink thing. For this kind of thing, water's enough. If I was doing like a 2-hour row and I was stopping to drink during that, or if I was doing a marathon, I'd make sure and have electrolytes and sugars and all that kind of stuff to get me through. But for a row like this, no need. 15 seconds until the next one starts, so make sure you are strapped in. Have a slight wiggle of your backside, take the pressure off your sit bones, or off your glutes from your sit bones. And we're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So back to 4 minutes at 24 strokes per minute. And hopefully 2K plus 12 pace. Now ideally, what I want is whatever pace you started at in the last set, that's what you row at now, and how you'll start the final set. I don't want you to ease off. You may find it progressively tougher to hold the higher rates depending on your fitness, but hopefully you can at least start the best of intentions. So last time round I was really just talking rhythm when it came to technique. Time I actually mentioned a bit more about how you move your body. So I did mention in the warm-up the importance of a forwards tilt over the hips towards the front of the machine with straight arms, and that is to allow the power from your legs to flow into the machine pretty much uninterrupted by any of your other muscles. Like if you don't have straight arms at the front, what you'll find is your biceps will be soaking up, fighting that power from your legs. And then not only are you losing potential leg drive, you're also wasting potential arm pull that happens here at the back of the stroke. So straight arms, only pull at the back. 2 more strokes, then up to 26 from now. So just push a little harder, and you'll find the actual feeling the weight of the stroke shouldn't really change that much, because you are adding strokes per minute. Your flywheel doesn't slow down as much as it did at 24. However, the cardio intensity starts to build, even if the muscle intensity doesn't. But keep pushing with the legs. Keep nice, straight arms until your legs are around about halfway through the drive. And that is the point when you finally swing your back over your hips and then pull those arms into a strong finish. Run about sternum height. Get your elbows through your sides. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Okay. Almost at the next change up. One more here. Here we go. Up to 28. So faster leg drive and a faster recovery should have been all it took to get up to 28. And if you're struggling with the recovery, think about the handle away. So you finish, the handle comes in to sternum height, and then instantly release it. Don't hold it to your chest. Get it away smoothly, rhythmically. The same speed you pulled it in at. I want you to release it at. And that will get the handle over your knees as your body tilts forwards. Okay, 3 more. And then our 30s. Here we go. So, handle away, body tilts over, hips And then as the handle goes past your knees, your momentum is already taking you forwards. So you just need to bend your knees. 5 more. 3, 2. That was progressively tougher than the first time round. Have a drink. It's round about now that I start to panic about battery capacity in the camera and in the microphone, because you do 2 of them and you think, I'm in no rush to do this workout again tomorrow. I'd rather have a couple of days off. Whereas if this cuts out during the workout, I may have to. If it cuts out during the cool down and the stretching at the end, I'll just tag another one on. So if it suddenly changes and it's me inside, then my apologies, but that's my kind of get out of jail free for a session like this. But if it quits with...
So I hope you'll appreciate the irony of the battery dying right when I was talking about, is this going to die? So I've looped that last interval so you can row the next interval properly. And remember, this is all about your rowing rather than what I'm saying, so it shouldn't really matter that you're about to hear exactly the same thing.
Come on Monday, I've still got food in my stomach from the night before and things. But by the time I get to Friday, I am running on an empty tank by the time I come out to do my row, but energy is never an issue. However, if I haven't been drinking, if I haven't taken in enough fluids, especially water, then regardless of how much food energy I've got in my body, I'll just drop. And that's where cyclists call it like a bonk, where your energy just goes and goes on you. And so that's what you want to try and avoid, and hydration is a huge part of that. And it's just water I drink. Don't really do the whole added electrolytes or sports drink thing. For this kind of thing, water's enough. If I was doing like a 2-hour row and I was stopping to drink during that, or if I was doing a marathon, I'd make sure and have electrolytes and sugars and all that kind of stuff to get me through. But for a row like this, no need. 15 seconds until the next one starts, so make sure you are strapped in. Have a slight wiggle of your backside. Take the pressure off your sit bones, or off your glutes from your sit bones. And we're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So back to 4 minutes at 24 strokes per minute. And hopefully 2K plus 12 pace. Now ideally, what I want is whatever pace you started at in the last set, that's what you row at now, and how you'll start the final set. I don't want you to ease off. You may find it progressively tougher to hold the higher rates depending on your fitness, but hopefully you can at least start the best of intentions. So, last time round, I was really just talking rhythm when it came to technique. Time I actually mentioned a bit more about how you move your body. So I did mention in the warm-up the importance of a forwards tilt over the hips towards the front of the machine with straight arms, and that is to allow the power from your legs to flow into the machine pretty much uninterrupted by any of your other muscles. Like if you don't have straight arms at the front, what you'll find is your biceps will be soaking up, fighting that power from your legs. And then not only are you losing potential leg drive, you're also wasting potential arm pull that happens here at the back of the stroke. So, straight arms, only pull at the back. 2 more strokes, then up to 26 from now. So just push a little harder, and you'll find the actual feeling, the weight of the stroke shouldn't really change that much, because you are adding strokes per minute. Your flywheel doesn't slow down as much as it did at 24. However, the cardio intensity starts to build, even if the muscle intensity doesn't. But keep pushing with the legs. Keep nice, straight arms until your legs are around about halfway through the drive. And that is the point when you finally swing your back over your hips and then pull those arms into a strong finish. Runabout, sternum height. Get your elbows through your sides. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Okay. Almost at the next change up. One more here. Here we go. Up to 28. So a faster leg drive and a faster recovery should have been all it took to get up to 28. And if you're struggling with the recovery, think about the handle away. So you finish, the handle comes in to sternum height, and then instantly release it. Don't hold it to your chest. Get it away smoothly, rhythmically. The same speed you pulled it in at. I want you to release it at. And that will get the handle over your knees as your body tilts forwards. Okay, 3 more. And then our 30s. Here we go. So, handle away, body tilts over, hips, and then as the handle goes past your knees, your momentum is already taking you forwards. So you just need to bend your knees. 5 more. 3, 2.
And of course, with the battery dying, that meant that there was no recording of my outro with the cool down and the stretching. So what I've done is I've imported one from a row earlier this month, and you can use that to do your cool down and to stretch along to. Again, sorry about this.
I don't know what finished. I was at 2k minus 5 for the last stroke. My heart rate finished 92% of my rowing maximum heart rate. I say rowing because that's where I've managed to get on a rowing machine, but on my bike doing Zwift, I've managed to increase by another 8 beats per minute. Don't know why. Don't ask me. Right, I'm just going to load in 2-minute cooldown using Ergzone. How simple was that? No button pushing, just 2 clicks on my iPad and I'm in. So 2-minute cool down. Intensity wise, similar to how we started the warm up, where just enough of a push from the legs to send the power through your body into your hands, into the machine, okay? Here we go then, in 3, 2, 1, go. And use this cool down as a way to consolidate anything that you may have been thinking about when it came to technique. Maybe you were working on the straight arms, in which case keep them straight, so straight pull. See how long I hold it for? Straight pull, straight pull. Really late in the stroke, so it's all about legs. Then I add the back, and then I finish with the arms. So if you look down and you see you're grabbing early from the front, using your forearms and your biceps, then try and keep those arms straight. You're still going to get to use your arms in the stroke, but instead of ruining your legs, your leg drive, by pulling from the front, you get to use your legs, then your back, then your arms. Okay, so your arms still pull to a finish. When they're all on their own, you can really bump, get that power in. Whereas pulling from the front, you can't connect with your legs, so you're not getting the leg drive. And yes, I'm sure you can row nice and fast, pulling early from the front. I'm sure you're like, yeah, I'm just going to keep on doing what I do. But if you are interested in performance, hang on, I'm going to take 2 more strokes here. 1 more. Tell you what, I'll continue this thought in a second, because we need to get stretchy man up first. So if you don't have time to stretch, don't worry about it. Just I do recommend just doing some light kind of quads, hamstrings, maybe hip flexors, maybe shoulders when you're when I'm not in the shower, but while you're either before or after you shower. Please don't do it in the shower. I don't want you to slip and fall. However, if you do have a kind of 5 minutes to spend with me, then Stretchy Man has just appeared in the top corner. Now I may or may not have also just put in some kind of groovy music, some kind of relaxing music over that. I don't know, I'm undecided, but anyway. But he's going to take you through a bunch of stretches. He's going to take you through hamstrings, quads, hip flexors, glutes, what else? Biceps, which remember, arms behind, so you're in Superman position, or ski jump position, whee, but then you rotate your thumbs outwards, okay? And that elongates your big long bicep, okay? What else? Triceps, which I'll show you the one where you just hold, because my shoulders are rubbish. So if you've got the flexibility, see, I mean, look how bad that is. I can't, because my shoulders are rubbish. I can't get my 2 hands close together, because most like Julie's great at it. She does that and she can kind of clasp both hands together, and then that's how she stretches her triceps. That's all I can do. I don't know if I'm slightly better on that one. Anyway, forearms, I should pray, and that should get under there, and a couple of others. Anyway, so he's going to take you through that. What's that on about? Oh yeah. So if you are interested in performance gains, okay, in trying to get faster, then I understand that if you are already going fast and you're grunt pulling early at the front, okay, and you're still hitting like a 6:42k or something, or even faster, okay, because you're really putting your upper, you're huge, you've got muscles upon your muscles and you're putting in. Just imagine what you could manage if you were able to use your legs to their full power. That hip, that kind of thrust, you know, if you're doing like a deadlift or a kettlebell swing, and you engage with that kind of, you thrust your hips forwards. That's kind of what that backswing of the stroke is like, okay, where you come in, you drive, and then that kind of flick over your back. Obviously, your body angle is wrong for it to be like a kettlebell swing or a deadlift, but that kind of swing over your back, that's what I'm talking about. So it's not about your hips coming forwards, it's about that swing. But shifting this mass, okay, from that position to that position, puts in a lot of force into the machine. So you push with the legs, okay, uninterrupted with a backswing or an arm pull, okay, so you're getting all the stuff from your legs. As they fade, you then swing over your back, which then, like I say, the mass whoosh adds in power. Your arms are still straight as that rock happens, okay, so your legs are starting to fade, you top it up with that backswing, and then as your back is coming into a close, you then put in your big guns, okay, so you then add power, so you've gone power, power, power. And that's how you go fast. Whereas if you just put everything in from the front, okay, so you yank with your hands, you swing with your back at the same time, and you push with your legs at the same time, and then you're done here, and you're like, oh, and that's when you have to start yanking on the straps to bring yourself forwards, because all of that mass is flying backwards that could be going into the flywheel. Okay, so you go, and you have to really, make sure I'm not showing you my tummy, you have to kind of stop yourself. That momentum backwards, you have to stop yourself, is force that should be going into the flywheel. And that's why strapless rowing is so good, because in order for me to not fly off the back of the machine, okay, because my legs are out the straps, okay, in order to not come flying off the back of the machine, I have to make sure that like 98% of my mass of everything going backwards has gone into the machine. There's only really a couple of percent that is then soaked up by my stomach at the back, my core, to then hold me and then bring me back forwards again. Whereas I guarantee you, if I did that kind of lurching stroke that was demonstrated before with my feet out the straps, I would be on the floor and I'd crack my head open off the patio. So I'm not going to demonstrate it. But that's the point, okay? If you want to, and yes, it's going to be, if you're used to grabbing from the front, okay, which lots of people are, and lots of people are really fast doing it. So I'm not saying you're not fast by doing it, but if you are, whatever, I'm not going to pull it. If you are the kind of the pulley grabby from the front, really grunt everything into there. What's the point I was about to make? Efficiency? No, it's gone. Oh dear. I literally, it was going out of my head. I managed to catch it and then it came back again. What was I going to say? Hang on. There's going to be an edit here while I sit here and think about what I was about to say. Oh yeah, I know what it was. When you first start doing it slightly different, it's going to feel, you're going to look at the numbers and you're going to be slightly slower, okay? And it's not because it doesn't work, it's because you're unfamiliar with it, okay? It's not that you're not good and that it doesn't work for you and that it's not right, it's that it's unfamiliar. Remember the first time you got in a car and you sat in the car and you're like, what do I do now? And you couldn't get especially if you drive stick, you couldn't get the timing right for the clutch going down and for changing the gear stick and for looking and steering and all that kind of stuff. And when I learned to drive, I hated my driving instructor for the first like 6-7 sessions, because I was like, I want to learn how to drive. I want to get this right, but I can't do it. And I was like, so, because it was unfamiliar, okay? And it's like everything that you address, everything in life that you start new that you've never come from, you've not done it before, so it's unfamiliar. So it's okay to not be instantly, the first time I've ever driven, I'm going to be a Formula 1 driver, okay, or a stock car or whatever, or an Indy 500, whatever. That's you do things and you learn how to get to where you want to be with it, okay? So if you are an early puller at the front and you're grunting into the machine and you start to do what I'm suggesting about driving with the legs and then swinging the back and then finishing with the hands, and you notice on the machine that you're 2-3 seconds slower, that's fine, because it's unfamiliar. You've not done it before, and you have to learn how to get that sequencing right, how to get that feel for the backswing, and how to get it all kind of correct. But I promise you, if you give it the time and you make sure and put it the way that I'm telling you to do it, you will be as fast as you were before, and you should go faster, or at least you should be able to row faster for longer, all right? And because you're then using your entire body to do it, you should also get a better workout, and you should find that you're burning more calories and you're getting stronger. And you know what that means? It means you're fitter, faster, stronger. And that's exactly why it says on all my stuff, fitter, faster, stronger, because that's all I'm trying to do here, is trying to help you get fitter or faster or stronger or all three, or just to sit on a machine and enjoy a row, okay? So, hopefully Stretchy Man is done. I rattled on for long enough on this outro. And yeah, hopefully he's not been a slow-mo because I've been going on for so long. I really hope you enjoyed this row. Please leave me some kind of a comment and let me know if you did. I know I certainly did. It was a real refresher for me. Seeing the numbers that I wanted to see in front of me while I did this one. It felt a real boost of confidence from my kind of return post-COVID and all that kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Please leave me some kind of a comment. And the last thing to say is just to leave a hashtag to get to the end. What have we spoken about? I want to say grunt. Can we use grunt? Is that all right? Are people going to go, what? Because I'm talking about the grunt where you're like, from the front, that kind of Popeye. Oh wait, that's a pirate. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a grunt. Okay, G-R-U-N-T, grunt. And you can use that just to prove you got this far through the video. So thank you so much. Please make sure and check out some of the other ones I've got up here. I do have hundreds, literally hundreds of workouts up here for you to row along with, and they are all literally free. Not a penny comes out of your pocket to row along with these. All you have to pay is that kind of, I've got to put up with his chat for another half hour. You can always hit mute. Anyway, thanks again. I will see you in another video. Please look after yourselves. Stay safe. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye.